Hi there, this is Justin Krane, certified financial planner professional and founder of Krane Financial Solutions. Welcome to Money You Got This. So how can you really live? How? By uniting your business money, your personal money with your life and your business. Word up.
Krane Financial is an SEC-registered investment advisor. However, such registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and no inference to the contrary should be made. A copy of our current written disclosure statement discussing our advisory services and fees is available upon request. Information contained herein is for informational and illustrative purposes only, and general in nature. It should not be considered specific financial planning or investment advice, or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of securities or other investment products.
What's up, everybody? This is Justin Krane, host of the show Money You Got This. This show is brought to you by Krane Financial Solutions. I'm Justin Krane. I'm a certified financial planner professional, and I offer investment management services and act as a fractional CFO to dentists and business executives. I'm the author of the book, Money You Got This. It's time to merge your money with your life. You guys ready? All right, let's do this. I'm psyched you're listening to the show. I want to give you this free report, 3 things multimillionaires do to grow their wealth. Just go to coolmoneyshow.com to grab it. That's coolmoneyshow.com to grab it. Thanks. So today's guest is Justin Joffe. I mean, we could pretty much just end the show right there by the fact that his name is my name. And I actually know someone with the first name Justin that went to Harvard Business School. That was my dream. Unfortunately, I went to Boulder, Colorado, but got a lot of good skiing in, learned a lot. But definitely want to hear about that from you, Justin. So welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. So you run this company and founded it called Henry the Dentist.
That is correct.
What is that all about? What is it that you do?
So we bring mobile dental practices on site to large employer groups. So what we're really doing is solving the accessibility issue around dentistry and the brand experience that really creates a lot of friction for patients and employees on the front end. So if you look across the U.S., of those people who have dental insurance, 40% of people that have dental insurance haven't even gone to dentists in the last year. And to me, it's really a failure on the provider side of the sort of equation. There are a lot of patients that have wonderful dentist relationships, great patient-provider care, and we're thrilled that people are able to get access to care. But there's 40% of people that aren't getting access to dental care today the way that the model is delivered. So we bring a high-end, state-of-the-art dental practice to corporate offices. Our clients include Merck, ADP, Vonage, Audible, Jet.com, CNBC, state-of-the-art 3-chair practice, full dentist, dental assistant, hygienist, office manager. We're in network with all PPO plans, so we deliver on-site preventative, restorative, major care, all the way through to orthodontic, on-site at an employer site. And that's effectively what we do. Okay, so that's like, I went to your site and I saw that you wrote on a napkin, we want to do this, and then you figured out how to do it. How do you take an idea that is massive, both capital intensive, in my opinion, and people oriented, from soup to nuts? Like, how do you pull this off with 72 moving parts? So I do very much think it's just one foot in front of the other, and you just do a little more each day to move the needle towards your ultimate goal. So I had a very clear objective of where I wanted the business to go. When I started this, I had zero personal money. I took zero income. I'll talk you through the financing of how I got an SBA loan to kick this off at the very beginning, and then equity financing later on. But we were scrappy. I worked out of Starbucks. I worked out of WeWorks. I just pulled and scrapped together a lot of things day one to just get that first product out on the road. I bought an email list. I sent out an e-blast. I took LinkedIn's free $200 advertising voucher, and I used that to sort of do a spray and pray. I went out there and said, look, I have an idea. I have a problem that I'm looking to solve. The problem I'm looking to solve is that dental care today doesn't work for everybody. And I believe there is a different delivery model for dentistry that fits into the ecosystem of healthcare that isn't currently being done today. And if I brought the dentist to corporate offices, we save people time, we dramatically improve the user experience, I believe fundamentally that I would be a patient, I would actually use the service, and there were others like me. So I worked with an architect that I knew, that I worked with in retail before, to design something. I literally went on Google. The first day one of the business was Google. Went on Google and figured out vehicle manufacturers and who could do such a thing. Does such a thing exist? I partnered with my friend, Dr. Joffe, who's a dentist, So I got some dental knowledge, brought in an architect, found a manufacturer, and was literally working at a Starbucks cafes, pulling together little design teams and sketches and floor plans, kind of like the movie, the movie The Founder, where he goes on the tennis court and maps it all out. And we mapped it all out. We figured out, could we do this? I interviewed a lot of HR people and I said, what would be your concerns? Why would you do it? Why wouldn't you? Would you pay for it? So yes or why not? And I really just asked stupid questions up front and got honest questions. And I tried to get to know more than I tried to get to yes. I wanted to understand why people wouldn't do this, so that I didn't have to I didn't spend the next 5 years and a lot of money wasting time. I'd rather know that up front.
Yeah.
And I asked a lot of people a lot of questions to try and get to know. And the realization that we had was that we're solving a real problem for a lot of people. I'm one of those consumers. I understand that pain point. And we're delivering healthcare, and that got me really excited. So I pulled together the pieces, and I just literally put one foot in front of the other. And we still got a long way to go. Right?
Yeah.
We're still working on things.
You touch on so many interesting things that we know, but I want to come at it from a different aspect. So when you started this business, were you right out of school? Were you just working somewhere else? Where were you when you had this idea?
This is my third company that I've been running. So when I left business school 10 years ago, so actually I have my 10-year anniversary this year.
You have a little gray in your beard. I'm just letting you know that.
I've earned each one of these, my friend.
Very nice, man.
Behind each of these and these and these, I can tell you the story behind each one of them. 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears, man. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's got ups and downs. It's got highs and lows, and there are days where you wake up in the morning and go, holy shit, like this is, I got a lot ahead of me today. And other days, you really got to motivate yourself to get up and go. And you have to be very self-driven to do it. So the last two businesses that I did, I've worked with my father. He was an educator in Canada, and I went back to Toronto and I helped him with an education startup. We raised money and we grew that. Smaller business, but it helped me really cut my teeth on operating a company. And my dad really taught me meat and potatoes, small business owner operator, cash management, like receiving the checks and depositing the checks and putting controls on. Then I came to New York and I did a bit of a bigger company with a private equity firm. We acquired a bunch of retail businesses, and there I really learned retail, beauty brands. I had 250 employees. We raised over 10 million of capital, and I restructured that company and exited to private equity. And then I took off a lot of time. I was on real burnout at that point, running two ventures back to back, about 3.5 years, 4 years each. And I really stepped back. I said, what do I really want to spend the next 10 years of my life doing? Any company you do is going to be hard. What can I be proud of putting my face on? What can I, get up in the morning and be excited to work on? I love the idea of healthcare. I love the idea of improving service-based industries. It's not just a product business that Amazon's going to disrupt. But a long-term company in an industry that's huge. The industry is $130 billion, very fragmented, very traditionally profitable, very unbranded from a consumer perspective, and bring my expertise with capital, operations, scaling companies, retail brand experience, and really apply that. And then my wife, who worked at Drybar, she joined with me, and we co-founded it together with Dr. Rappaport. So we brought dentistry, operational skills, and brand together. We brought all of our vendors and a lot of friends we worked with before, and we got this thing off the ground.
Wow. So a lot of moving parts. One thing you talked about was research and information and testing. And I find that when I work with business owners a lot, they're really not researching that. They're just doing the fly by the seat of their pants. So when you did all of this research and you asked these questions and you got all of these answers, how did you formulate these answers in this research in a way that you could actually comprehend it and understand the trends and see kind of where you could add value, have your unique selling proposition? How did you kind of take the data and run from it?
Yeah. So I was trained in management consulting. So I used to work at the Boston Consulting Group and Pegasus Capital before sort of going into smaller companies. So I think in matrix. I think everything is easier to understand when you put it in a sort of that sort of a structure. So I first looked at industries, right? And I took a pretty broad view of industries, services and products and technology, different sectors. I looked at my skill sets and where I could add value. I looked at capital efficiency, how much money would it take? So if I want to go and do a renewable energy startup, which I actually have dabbled in the past, you got to raise, substantial capital, or do an infrastructure business or real estate. There's certain businesses that just take longer, take more money, take more time, have higher risks. I wanted something that I could move on pretty quickly. I want to be able to get a physical product that I can get. I knew how to get an SBA loan. So I knew that if I had a physical product, I can get an SBA loan. I can get this thing off the ground pretty quickly. So to me, speed of proof of concept was important. I wanted to succeed or fail fast. And I want to know the answer quickly. So it's either going to work or it's not. And I want to know the answer very quickly and not spend a huge amount of time sort of spinning my wheels. I've seen so many times that people are cursed by limited success. You get just enough success you think is worth still going, but not enough success to ever really make money.
Yeah.
Hobble along. And that's, unfortunately, it's like the frog in boiling water. At some point, the pot gets to boiling. And that's a really hard thing to do as an operator, is to know when to hold them and know when to fold them and give up. So I wanted to know fast. It's either going to work or it's not. So I want to get to that proof of concept quickly. So I looked at a bunch of industries. I looked at where my skill sets and sort of relationships and vendors were. So I knew service businesses. I knew consumer brand. I knew retail. I knew architecture and construction. I knew how to capital raise and get debt and get equity financing. And I wanted to apply that to, some places. I didn't want to do beauty. I didn't want to do big real estate. I didn't really want to do HR. I like healthcare. So when I sort of narrowed down a bunch of those things, I said, okay, where is sort of the perfect fit for me? I have a friend who's a dentist. So, I have a dental director co-founder. My wife is awesome at brands. So I had that around me. I had vendors. And sort of as I looked at different industries, sort of became very apparent to me, a lot of private equity money is going to dentistry, but no one's really changing the consumer experience. They're just doing these DSO roll-ups.
Yeah.
So my 2 ventures ago was a B2B business. So I like B2B, not B2C, even though we're dentistry, we're really a B2B business going to big companies. I like brand, I like service, I like healthcare. It all sort of made sense, but it was a 4-month journey of probably 20 different ideas to 5 to 3 shallow diving, and then eventually to the one that launched.
So when you got this loan, how did the bank give you the money without any sales or profits? Did you have to back it personally or what?
Yeah, so I did personally guarantee it. Sometimes with these things, you look in hindsight and they looked all like they all lined up. We got by the skin of our teeth. So
I can imagine. Yeah.
So many times. I'm a Canadian. I wasn't even an American citizen at the time, so I couldn't get a loan at the time. So I was starting this business and I needed a green card before I could even get an SBA loan.
Yeah.
Came in a week before, and then skin of my teeth. And life, it works out because you make it work out. It doesn't work out just because it works out and people say it will. It works out because you don't not work out. You just make it work.
So let me ask you this question, and maybe it's assumed, but like, I'm not a dentist, so I don't know this, but when you're negotiating with a corporation and you're providing dentistry, to them, is the client the company, or is it just the patient that you're seeing and you're renting space, or you're going on their lot somehow?
So we bring a full medical practice on site. So we park it in their parking lot, essentially.
Yeah.
We go to HR and we say, hey, head of benefits at, big Fortune 500, you have 10,000 employees and a lot of those people don't use their dental benefits today. Henry's a great way to provide access to care, reduce your overall cost of care. Reduce your overall cost of care and improve your employee experience. So we bring a vehicle on site. There's no cost to companies and there's no incremental cost to patients. All the companies do is help support it through marketing, communication to their employees. And then we come on site as a regular in-network PPO provider. So we are in-network like any other provider. We're just another in-network provider, but we happen to be more convenient on-site downstairs with a better brand experience.
Is there any compliance risk from the company knowing that if something goes wrong, it's on their property and all of that, or not at all? And
we issue a COI and we make sure they're protected, and so no, there's no.
Got it. And the dental insurance companies are fine with this because it's more business for them. So why wouldn't they be okay with it, right?
Not only are they fine with it, they really encourage it because the dental insurance companies want to have a conversation with an employer that shows higher utilization. So they care about the utilization number of preventative care And for every $1 spent on prevention, it saves $8 to $50 in later stage care.
Yeah.
But the carriers are more than happy for people to go for cleanings and exams and x-rays, and it helps sort of identify problems earlier, reduce costs of care over time. We are really moving healthcare forward. We're providing better access to care. If you're Cigna, Aetna, Delta Dental, MetLife, United, you should care about patient outcomes and you should care about healthcare. So if you really are mission driven, Henry fits right into that.
I have this vision of like the In-N-Out truck going to like GE, and then your truck, like you got burgers and you got teeth cleanings and fillings. Which one do you want? I mean,
in all seriousness, I really do believe that healthcare delivery is moving more towards the food truck model, but in a higher brand environment where, if you're a big company, you have to invest massive CapEx and infrastructure to build on-site healthcare facilities. So primary care, optometry, dentistry, dermatology, major specialties, right? And most companies don't have the size, the scale, the budgets to do that. So what we're doing at Henry is we're creating effectively an asset sharing model where 15 different companies, instead of investing $1 million in a practice, can each get a little piece of a practice that we rotate around to different buildings. And eventually, maybe you bring multiple healthcare verticals on site to those events. So the first guy to sell, pad thai out of a food truck, a lot of people are like, oh, you're going to buy what out of a what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy pad thai any other way.
Yeah. So how many employees do you now have? Like, how big are you right now?
We're currently almost 40. So we're at, I think, officially 38. But we have a lot of open positions that we are currently hiring for. So we should be at around 60 to 65 at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. So did you start off with like 2 companies, kind of get it set up, make sure it works, and then just kind of go from there?
Yeah, so we will have 10 practices by the end of this year in 4 states, New Jersey, Southeastern PA, Manhattan, and Atlanta this year. We're raising another round of capital to go to 5 more states next year. And again, it's exactly like my first point, just put one foot in front of the other. We launched one practice. I drove it. I was the first office manager, dumped the water pumps from it. I mean, really did what it took ground level to understand that business inside and out. Hire the first, dentist with Dr. Rappaport. We sort of evaluated the talent, and he led the clinical side of the business, and I helped to really set up the operational side of the business, and create product one. And once we knew that it was up and running and working, we were able to do the second one. And doing 2 is very different from doing 1. Now you have to build more systems and scale. Then we've built our first brick and mortar. So we have a brick and mortar multi-specialty practice, which I'm sitting in now. We have endodontist, periodontist, oral surgery, for all major specialty. And we can provide evening and weekend hours for our patients and their families and continuity of care. And then we open up Atlanta, Georgia end of this year. Pennsylvania is opening up in June. So we're, scaling and growing, but one little step at a time. And each new step, we add the appropriate resources.
So you have brick and mortar and you have this mobile service.
And we also have a model where we go inside corporate offices like Manhattan or Philly or Boston. We have a whole mobile cart business that goes inside to a company's office and does it inside their building.
You're going inside someone's office and doing dentistry. How do you do that?
Correct. We have designed an awesome brand experience with mobile carts. So they've got mobile compressors. We have mobile imaging scanners. We have a Nomad home handheld X-ray. We have, vehicles that go with different activation carts, and they go to large employer groups in Manhattan and downtown cities. We roll up into the boardroom. We set it all up with an event team, and we deliver dentistry all the way with a regular dentist.
And obviously it's compliant. I mean, you wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't compliant. So I guess whoever the regulators are for dentistry actually is cool with you doing this, and you're allowed to, right? I mean,
100%. So we bring a full dentist on site, dental assistant, office manager, is fully regulated with a corporation and all the controls, and it's overseen by, Dr. Rappaport, our dental director. So there's 100% regulatory control.
How old are you?
37.
Okay, so you're 37.
Yeah.
This is your 3rd business. You've got brick and mortar, mobile, on-site. You're expanding. You have 37 employees. You're getting to 65. You're going to own the world in about 12 minutes. I'm sure people are like saying, Jesus, what is this guy up to? He's insane. The guy is doing great stuff. And your answer is just put one foot in front of the other and do.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you this. Why is it that so many business owners don't do this? Why is it that they get stuck after putting the first or the second or third foot and not the 13th or 14th?
Yeah.
What is going on there, and why are they getting stuck, and how have you been able to surpass that?
So I think there's a couple places people get stuck. One is the first step, which is the actual start of doing it. And I think it's very scary to take that first step. There's a lot of people out there that are going to tell you why it's not going to work. And to do something that's innovative means not someone else is not doing it, and that either scares you off, or if someone else is doing it, you think the idea is already taken. But I guarantee you, Yahoo was around before Google started, and MySpace was around before Facebook started, and Uber was around before Lyft started. And I mean, I can give you 100 examples. Yeah. Just because someone's in the space doesn't mean the market opportunity is gone. And just because someone's never done it before, never done it the way that you envision doing, doesn't mean that it's not a good idea. So you gotta listen to a lot of things. So I had a group of probably 10 people that I really trusted to be able to think through things very rationally and objectively, from business side, and emotional side, a patient side, a customer side. And I put probably 5 different business ideas in front of them, and I said, help me think through these. Are they good ideas? Are they bad? Why? And you generally are going to get, 2 or 3 people always to say, here's the reason why it's not going to work. Right? And you're going to get 2 to 3 people that are always going to say, oh my God, it's the best idea ever, and you're going to do fantastic at whatever you do. You kind of got to ignore the noise on those 2 sides, because there's certain people who never are too risk averse. There's certain people who are blindly optimistic, who are going to believe anything you're going to say. But in the middle is the meat of it. And how far to the left or how far to the right is that middle group of people? And what I found when I, sort of floated the idea of Henry, the overwhelming number of people were over to the right of saying, I would use the service. If it came to me and it was a good brain experience with a good doctor, I would use it. And that to me was my conviction. So the first step in getting over the one step in front of the other is, can you find enough conviction? It's never going to be 100. Never. You find enough conviction to sort of feel confident enough that if I do it, there's enough people out there that believe I'm solving a real problem, and they will be a real customer and pay me real money. If you can believe that, you should take the first step. And then the other barrier thing people have is sort of the giving up relatively early on, because it's hard. It's hard because you're going a long time very lonely, especially as a single founder. It's very lonely. It's emotionally lonely. There's a lot of ups and downs. As financial pressure. You win some, you lose some, and every time you get knocked down, you've got to be able to pick yourself up. To be very, very, very individually self-motivated to get up in the morning and make things better today than they were yesterday.
It's amazing, man. I like that you're disrupting an industry. I think that's super cool. I love that. I also think there's a big takeaway for people that I'm just starting to figure out, and I'm 47. I got 10 years on you and a few more gray hairs. Is that, and I knew this, but I'm now experiencing it more, is that, and this is especially for dentists, because a lot of dentists will listen to this, and business owners, but dentists in particular, is they think they have to be involved and do everything. And to do what you're doing, there's only one of you. There's no way you could do every single thing. You have to create a team of people that can support you and help you take your vision and grow it and actually execute on it. You can't do it all yourself.
Right.
So, I looked at your team and, everything that you have. It's not just you. Yes, it's you who's like making it happen, but it's the understanding and ability that you can't do it all yourself, and that you need to surround yourself with smart people. And everyone listening, I know that you know that, but are you really acting on that? Are you really doing that? And that's why I just believe that trusted advisors are super, super important.
Yeah, I think to your point, just on the doing it, I think you have to do it first to understand it. You know what you're hiring for and building, but then you have to, as quickly as possible, find someone who's better at it than you, show them the way you want to do it, and then get out of the way.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's what we're doing now. I mean, I'm, hiring for key positions. We're We're taking on our next round of financing. We're trying to be in 9 states next year with 45 vehicles. And that's going to require a real executive leadership team. And that means hiring people that are way more experienced than me in any given department. Hiring a CFO and a chief sales officer and marketing positions and, clinical clinicians. I know enough about each of those things to ask the right questions because I've done those roles. I've made the B2B sales. I've driven the vehicle. I've sat at the front desk. I've, figured out the insurance stuff. I've understand what a treatment plan looks like. I understand enough to ask the right questions about pretty much every part of the business. But I need to hire people way smarter than me in any of those parts of the business to really take the business to the next level, way above and beyond what I could do on my own. And that's what I think effective leadership is.
Amazing. How quickly did you become profitable?
So we don't disclose financials, publicly, but I'll say very, very, very.
How quickly did things start to work out?
Very quickly. And the reason is because unlike a regular dental practice that you pop up a dental practice on the corner of First and Main and, build a slow building patient base, we're going to corporate offices, 5,000 employees and sort of it opens day one.
Yeah. And then my last question is, so to be able to wake up in the morning, to be highly motivated, to fail and be okay with it and learn from it requires a lot of resilience. And I'm always interested in what leaders and successful people like you do to stay healthy, fit, and good. So what are the things that you do and that you still do today that give you that sense of like resilience and just, being productive, but at a sustained level rather than peak to crash?
I wish I could say I was perfect at it because honestly, I kick myself all the time. I'm not going to the gym as many times during the week as I really want. I'm too tired in the morning sometimes to go at 6 a.m. even though I really want. So I had, basil stir-fried rice for lunch because I was too lazy. So quite honestly, I would love to say that I'm this perfect person that eats green juice and wakes up for the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not. It's hard to do that. It's emotionally draining job. I'm very, very, very efficient at my day. So my calendar is, very efficiently packed. And I get through my projects very quickly. But I don't actually work that long hours. I'd say I'm, on the field days, I'm out in the field quite a bit. So I try to be out in the field at least 1 to 2 days a week. So I'm there for the morning huddle by 8. That's a reasonable wake up time and be in the office. And I'm usually home, 7, 8 at night for dinner times. I don't work crazy hours. I have a wife, dog, home, we have a life, we have balance, we see friends, I go to Manhattan all the time. So I have a life. I think what gets me going is I actually really, really fundamentally believe in what we're doing, legitimately.
Yeah.
I have a blast at work every day. And I love the people we work with. We've designed an office and an experience and a service and a product I think's awesome. There's fun music playing when you walk up to the practice. It smells good. We've got, a great young team. They're energetic. We're wearing fun FIGS uniforms that have a mission-driven purpose. And, we have awesome patient amenities like Bose noise canceling headphones, and patients come in and they've Snapchatted and put on Facebook and Instagram. That inspires me and that keeps me motivated. Numbers are nice because when you have a business that's actually working and producing money, it's nice. We have great investors, great team. It's a real problem we're solving. I get up in the morning, no matter how tired I am, whether I've had 4 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours of sleep, I get up in the morning and I'm pumped to come to work to actually make this business better and change the way that healthcare is being delivered and build the best dental company that we can build.
I love it. So it sounds like it's the user/consumer experience that lights you up. And that keeps you going. Sure. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I want to send people to the best link where they can go and find out more information, because whatever they're listening from, odds are you're going to be there at some point.
Well, go to henrythedentist.com, learn more, and call us to join our team, or we'd be happy to connect with anyone in the industry. So thank you.
henrythedentist.com.
That is right. HENRY, thedentist.com.
Who is Henry?
Henry is kind of a Gatsby of sorts. It's all about creating an approachable, fun brand. But I get called Dr. Henry all the time. And I'm like, nope, just Justin.
That's awesome. All right. Thanks again.
Thanks, Just. Appreciate it.
Have a question? Want to get in touch with us? Need some help and advice with your finances? Just go to coolmoneyshow.com and reach out to us. That's coolmoneyshow.com.
Krane Financial Solutions is an SEC registered investment advisor. However, such registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and no inference to the contrary should be made. A copy of our current written disclosure statement discussing our advisory services and fees is available upon request. Information contained herein is for informational and illustrative purposes only and general in nature. It should not be considered specific financial planning or investment advice, or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of securities or other investment products. No investment decision should be made based solely on any information provided herein. We do not provide legal, accounting, or tax services. We recommend that all investors seek out the services of competent professionals in any of the aforementioned areas. Certain information provided has been obtained from third-party sources that we believe reliable. However, it's not been independently verified and is not guaranteed.